Think about the last time you reached for your phone without meaning to. Not because you needed something, just the reflex. The pull of a glass rectangle that has become the center of every connected moment in modern life. What if everything that matters could be absorbed into what you wear instead? Glasses that answer your questions. Earbuds that translate any language in real time. A clip on your collar that captures and organizes everything you say. A ring monitoring your health around the clock without you ever touching a screen. None of the wearables in this video fully replace a smartphone yet, but each replaces a meaningful piece of what you use your phone for, and together they paint a picture of a world where the screen in your pocket becomes optional. Everything featured today is available now. Prices move, so treat any figures as starting points. Stay until the end. The final two wearables are the most underestimated on the entire list. Number 15, the Light Phone 3. The most contrarian device on this list, and arguably the most honest answer to the question this video is asking. The Light Phone 3 doesn't replace your smartphone with something smarter. It replaces it with something deliberately simpler. Calls, texts, music, maps, a camera. No social media, no app store, no infinite scroll. At around $399, it does less than a smartphone on paper. But the people who switch consistently report the same unexpected thing. They feel less managed by technology and more in control of their own attention. It isn't AI heavy. That's exactly the point. In a video about replacing your smartphone, the Light Phone 3 is the reminder that the replacement doesn't always need to be more sophisticated. Sometimes it just needs to be more intentional. Number 14 wears around your ears and does something for your auditory world that most people haven't considered possible in consumer technology. Number 14, the Nuance Audio Hearing Glasses. Most people think of hearing aids as medical devices. The Nuance Audio Hearing Glasses reframe that because they look exactly like a pair of glasses. At around $1,100 and up, they embed directional microphones, speakers, and audio processing into a conventional eyeglass frame. For people with hearing difficulties, they amplify and clarify sound through something they'd wear regardless of whether the technology was inside it. The phone replacement angle is real. Calls are routed through the glasses. Audio assistance is built in. No reaching for a phone, no earpiece to swap in. For the right user, and that population is enormous, this is one of the most practically impactful devices on the list. As hearing AI matures, the line between assistive technology and lifestyle wearable is going to continue dissolving. Nuance Audio is already on the right side of it. Number 13 turns any cross-language conversation into a natural two-way dialogue without taking out your phone at all. Number 13, the Timekettle W4 Pro. The phone task that translation earbuds replace is obvious, but it's worth saying plainly. Pulling out your phone to translate a conversation is one of the most friction-heavy, socially awkward experiences in travel and international work. You break eye contact. You type or speak into a device. You hold it between you like a wall. The connection fractures. The Timekettle W4 Pro eliminates all of that. Both speakers wear earbuds. Both speak at a natural pace. Each hears the other in their own language translated in real time, with latency low enough that the rhythm of real conversation is preserved across 40 languages. An offline mode covers 20 of those languages with no internet required, which means they function in precisely the locations where translation is most urgent and connectivity is least reliable. At around $299, the W4 Pro sits at a price point where its capability feels disproportionately advanced. This is not a translation toy. It's a device that professionals in medical, legal, diplomatic, and business environments use for communication that matters. The phone replacement it offers isn't just convenience. It's the ability to have an entirely real conversation with someone you couldn't previously talk to at all without either of you reaching for a screen. Number 12 tracks what's happening inside your body while you're doing everything else. Number 12, the Ringconn Gen 2 Air Smart Ring. The smartphone has become many people's primary health tracking interface, the thing they check for sleep data, heart rate, step counts, and stress levels. The Ringconn Gen 2 Air replaces all of that with something that weighs almost nothing and sits on your finger. Inside a plain metal band, medical-grade sensors measuring heart rate variability, blood oxygen, respiratory rate, skin temperature, and sleep architecture around the clock, with no charging interruptions during normal use. The AI builds your personal physiological baseline over time and flags deviations that may indicate illness onset, cardiovascular stress, or insufficient recovery before you feel any symptoms yourself. At roughly $199 to $299, this is health intelligence performance at a level that used to require clinical equipment, delivered through something nobody can identify as a health device unless you tell them. No screen, no notification light, no app you need to open to get value from it. Your health data is there when you want it and invisible when you don't. That is a fundamentally different relationship with health monitoring than the one a phone offers: quieter, more continuous, and more honest about what your body is actually doing versus what you think it. Number 11 takes the concept of smart glasses in a direction built for an outdoor and active lifestyle. Number 11, the Oakley Meta AI glasses. Where the Ray-Ban Meta frames are designed for everyday urban wear, the Oakley Meta glasses are built for people who spend their time moving. The sport-focused frame houses the same core technology: open-ear speakers, microphone array, camera, and Meta AI assistant in a form factor designed to stay on your face through physical activity. Quick capture is particularly strong for athletes and outdoor creators who want to document moments without stopping. The audio handles wind and ambient noise better than standard configurations. At around $300 and up, they offer the same fundamental phone replacement capability as the Ray-Ban version: hands-free calls, music, voice assistant, photo and video capture built for a different kind of life. What comes next takes smart glasses beyond audio and capture into something closer to a screen you wear on your face. Number 10, the Vitcher Helix. The phone task the Vitcher Helix replaces is the one most people spend the most time on: looking at a screen. At around $399 and up. Helix is an XR display glasses system that projects a private, high-resolution virtual screen in front of your eyes. Work documents, movies, content, tasks, things you currently do by holding a rectangle up to your face, done instead while your hands are free and the display exists only for you. The practical implications are significant for productivity-focused users. Long-haul flights, commutes, hotel rooms, anywhere you'd normally prop a phone or laptop up against something and crane your neck toward it, replaced by a display that travels with your face. The phone replacement angle isn't about AI here. It's about the screen itself. What if the reason you were holding your phone wasn't the apps, just the screen? Vitcher Helix gives you the screen without the phone. And once you've spent a transatlantic flight with a cinema-sized display filling your field of view while your hands stay free, going back to holding a phone up feels genuinely absurd. Number 9 takes that visual experience and adds something the Vitcher doesn't have: information that responds to the world around you. Number 9. The Xreal Aura. Positioned at around $500 and up, the Xreal Aura handles the transition between private display and real-world awareness better than most XR glasses at this price. Where some XR devices lock you into a visual environment that disconnects you from your surroundings, Xreal's approach overlays information onto your field of view tasks you currently do on your phone shift to a display in your glasses while you remain physically present in the room around you. For professionals who need to stay responsive to their environment while handling digital work, this distinction matters enormously. The phone stays in the pocket, the work happens on a display that travels with your face. Number 8 brings a level of design restraint to the smart glasses space that most products in this category haven't achieved. Number 8. The Even Realities G2. Most smart glasses carry a visible cost something in the design that signals to everyone around you that you are wearing technology. The Even Realities G2 is one of the most determined attempts to eliminate that entirely. At around $599 and up, the G2 takes a minimal display approach, delivering glanceable information, real-time translation, and contextual notifications through a subtle embedded display that doesn't dominate the frame or the face. The aesthetic is close enough to standard eyewear that most people won't identify them as smart glasses at a conversational distance. The phone tasks they replace are the ones that require the least engagement but the most interruption: checking the time, glancing at a notification, seeing the next line of translated conversation, getting a navigation prompt. Things that currently require you to reach into your pocket, unlock a screen, and look away from whatever was in front of you. The G2's proposition is that those moments, accumulated over a full day, represent a significant portion of how your phone currently controls your attention, and that moving them to a glance in your glasses without breaking stride or eye contact changes how present you can actually be in the world around you. Number 7 is one of the most mainstream entries into this space, and for most people, the most immediately useful. Number 7, the Ray-Ban Meta Meta AI glasses. If you were going to buy one smart wearable from this list and wear it every day without thinking about it, this would be the strongest candidate at around $329 to $799 depending on the configuration and lens type. The Ray-Ban Meta Gen 2 glasses look indistinguishable from premium Ray-Bans. The frame is styled well enough that wearing them in any context draws no attention. The technology inside is invisible, and that invisibility is the entire design philosophy. A 12-megapixel camera captures photos and video with a voice command or a tap. Open-ear speakers handle calls and music and deliver Meta AI responses without earbuds. The microphone array picks up voice commands reliably in noisy environments. And Meta AI runs continuously in the background, aware of what you're looking at and available to answer questions about it. The phone tasks replaced are concrete photography, music, calls, quick information lookups, translation, hands-free navigation prompts. All of it accessible without taking your phone out of your pocket or breaking eye contact with the world in front of you. What makes the Ray-Ban Meta the most mainstream entry on this list isn't just the design, it's the breadth of what it covers. Most wearables on this list do one or two things exceptionally. This one does 6 or 7 things well every day in a package people actually want to wear. Number 6 is the most affordable wearable on this list and one of the most surprisingly useful. Number 6, the Be Wearable. Most people have experienced the specific frustration of a conversation ending and realizing they can't quite reconstruct what was said. Not because they weren't paying attention, but because human memory is imperfect and real-time note taking splits attention in a way that costs the very presence you were trying to maintain. Be is a small clip-on wearable that solves this at a price point about $49 to $59 that makes it one of the most accessible AI wearables available. It runs continuously throughout the day, capturing what's said around you and using AI to produce structured summaries, daily recaps, conversation highlights, key points from discussions, things you said you'd do. It replaces the phone task of journaling, note-taking, and memory capture not by asking you to do anything, but by doing it automatically while you live your life normally. The concept of passive AI capture is one that a growing number of wearables are built around. Be is one of the most affordable starting points for anyone curious about what that experience actually feels like. For the price of a dinner out, it gives you a second memory one that doesn't fade overnight, doesn't get distracted mid-conversation, and doesn't need to be reminded to write things down. It simply runs quietly in the background of your life and hands you back a record of your day that your own brain couldn't have produced. Number 5 takes the same concept of live capture and elevates it into a professional productivity tool. Number 5, the Plaude Notepin. At around $159, the Plaude Notepin occupies the sweet spot between consumer curiosity and genuine professional tool. It clips to a collar, sits on a desk, or rests near wherever conversation is happening, and it captures everything. Real-time transcription with speaker separation, AI summarization that produces structured output with action items automatically extracted from what was said, a searchable archive of your spoken day that builds itself without any effort from you beyond wearing the device. The phone tasks it replaces are voice memos, meeting notes, interview recordings, and the downstream work of turning captured audio into usable text. All of that collapses into a clip-on device that doesn't need you to look at it, interact with it, or remember to use it. For journalists, consultants, executives, students, and anyone who lives in conversations that matter, the Notepin changes the information density of every day. Things that used to disappear from your memory within 48 hours become permanently findable. The friction of information loss in professional life becomes something you are no longer willing to accept once you've experienced the alternative. Number 4 goes further, adding accessories and professional grade output that takes the Notepin concept to its logical conclusion. Number 4, the Plaude Notepin S. The Plaude Notepin S is the upgraded version of the Notepin at around $179 with accessories and additional features that extend its capability for professional environments. The core function is the same: continuous AI voice capture, real-time transcription, speaker separation, and automatic summarization. What the Notepin S adds is a more complete ecosystem for people who want to integrate AI voice capture more deeply into their workflow, better audio hardware, expanded accessory compatibility, and a form factor refined for all-day professional wear. If the Notepin is the entry point, the Notepin S is what you graduate to when you've realized you want this capability to be a permanent, optimized part of how you work rather than an experiment. To Together, they represent something important. The category of wearable AI capture is real, it works, and it's available at a price range that makes it genuinely accessible. In 3 to 5 years, some version of this capability will be built into every pair of professional earbuds and glasses on the market. Right now, Plaude is the clearest demonstration that it's already here. Number 3 is the most radical commercial attempt yet to make you forget your phone exists entirely. Number 3, the Rabbit R1. The Rabbit R1 isn't technically a wearable it clips or rests in a pocket, but it belongs here because it attempts something no other device on this list does, replacing the experience of navigating apps on your phone entirely. At about $199, the R1 uses a large action model to execute tasks across digital services that would normally require you to open individual apps. Describe what you want. The AI reasons through how to accomplish it across whatever tools and platforms it has learned, rather than routing you to an app to do it yourself. Whether it fully delivers on that promise in its current form is a fair question. What isn't in question is the idea, which is one of the most consequential concepts in personal technology right now. The R1 is an imperfect early version of something that will eventually define how everyone interacts with AI. Number 2 is the most famous attempt to replace a smartphone with a wearable and the most instructive, regardless of how the story has unfolded. Number 2, the Humane AI pin. No wearable on this list carries more conceptual weight than the Humane AI pin. And understanding why in both directions is one of the most useful things you can take from this video. At about $699 at launch, the pin is a magnetic clip-on device with a camera, a microphone, a speaker, a projector, and an AI assistant that you interact with entirely through voice and touch. No screen, no app, no phone. Ask it questions. Have it read your messages. Project information onto your palm. Translate a conversation in real time. The people behind it, former Apple designers with deep experience in how hardware and software work together, built it around a genuinely important premise that the smartphone as an interaction model may be approaching the end of its era. That the next great interface won't be a screen you look at, but intelligence you wear. The pin has faced real criticism for its execution battery life, response time, the friction of interacting with a screen-free device in a world built around screens. Those critiques are fair and worth knowing. But what the Humane AI pin represents is more important than what it currently delivers. It is the most visible, most fully realized attempt to answer the question this video is asking, and the lessons it teaches, both positive and negative, are shaping every AI wearable being developed right now. The ideas inside this device will outlast the device itself. And in 5 years, something wearing those ideas more comfortably will be sitting at number 1 on a list like this one. That day is closer than most people think. And now, the wearable that closes this list. Not the most famous, not the most expensive, but quietly, practically, one of the most useful AI wearables available today. Number 1. The OMI AI necklace. Imagine having a perfect memory, not augmented recall perfect. Every conversation you had today, preserved and searchable. Every meeting, every discussion, every offhand remark that turned out to matter, captured, organized, and retrievable the moment you need it. That is what the OMI AI necklace attempts to deliver, and it does so in a form factor so minimal that most people who see it have no idea what it is. At around $89, it's a small pendant, roughly the size of an AirTag, worn on a cord around your neck. It listens continuously, streaming audio to a companion app that transcribes, summarizes, and organizes everything into a searchable record of your day. Unlike most devices on this list, OMI is fully open source. The hardware and software are both transparent and extensible, which means a growing community of developers builds plugins on top of it. A translator, a sales coach, a conversation coach that gives you real-time tips on how you're communicating. The phone tasks it replaces are the ones most people don't realize they're using their phone for. Capturing ideas before they disappear, remembering what was agreed in a conversation, reconstructing the details of a discussion from 3 weeks ago that suddenly matters again. All of those moments currently require either a phone in hand or acceptance that the information is gone. The OMI necklace offers a third option: passive, continuous, invisible capture that turns your daily life into a searchable archive. Built on a platform open enough that you're never locked into one company's roadmap for how your own memory gets used. Of all the wearables on this list, this one is perhaps the most quietly radical. It doesn't try to replace your phone's screen, your phone's camera, or your phone's apps. It replaces your phone's role as the thing you reach for when you realize you need to remember something by making sure you never need to remember it at all. That shift, small as it sounds, turns out to change the texture of an entire day. The devices in this video represent 15 different answers to the same question. What happens when the technology you carry becomes the technology you wear? Some of them are still early. Some are solving problems that didn't fully exist until the device appeared and showed you how much friction you were living with. Some are imperfect first attempts at ideas that will define the next decade of how human beings interact with AI. What they share is momentum. The smartphone took 15 years to become indispensable. Wearable AI has been building for 5. The curve is steepening, and the window between this feels experimental, and I can't imagine living without it is getting shorter with every generation. Which of these would you actually wear? Drop it in the comments, because the gap between interesting product and thing I would put on my body every day is one of the most honest questions in consumer technology, and those answers are always worth reading. Every wearable in this video is linked in the description below. Prices shift, so check current listings before deciding. And if you want to stay ahead of where this category is going, because the next generation of these devices is going to be significantly harder to dismiss, subscribe. We'll be here when it arrives.